You've used it every single day of your life. You've never questioned it. You've never wondered where it came from, who made it, or why it looks exactly the way it does. But here's what nobody tells you. The toothbrush sitting in your bathroom right now is the product of one of the most quietly dominant monopolies on the planet. A $50 billion industry controlled by two companies and a dentist recommendation that might be the most expensive piece of advice you've ever followed. This is what's hiding behind the barcode on your toothbrush. Let's start at the beginning, because the toothbrush didn't always look like this. 5,000 years ago, Babylonians and Egyptians were cleaning their teeth with frayed twigs. They'd chew one end until it split into bristle-like fibers, then scrub. Primitive, but it worked. And honestly, it wasn't that different from what we do today. The Chinese took it further. Around 1498, during the Tang Dynasty, they invented the first actual bristle toothbrush. Pig hair from the back of a boar's neck attached to a bamboo or bone handle. Stiff, scratchy, but functional. That design eventually made its way to Europe. A British merchant named William Addis encountered it and saw an opportunity. In 1780, he began mass-producing toothbrushes in London. Bone handles, boar hair bristles, imported from Siberia and China. His company still exists today. It's called Wisdom Toothbrushes, producing over 70 million brushes a year in the UK. But the real revolution came in 1938. A DuPont chemist named Wallace Carruthers had invented something called nylon, the world's first synthetic fiber. And almost immediately, someone realized it was perfect for toothbrush bristles. Hygienic, consistent, cheap to produce at scale. That year, Dr. West's Miracle Toothbrush launched, the first nylon bristled toothbrush in history. Within a decade, boar hair was gone. Nylon was everywhere, and the modern toothbrush industry was born. Now here's where it gets interesting. Today, the global toothbrush market is worth over $10 billion. The broader oral care market, toothpaste, mouthwash, floss, electric brushes, sits at around $50 billion. And it is dominated by exactly two companies. Colgate-Palmolive, founded in 1806, today holding nearly 40% of the global toothpaste market, the number one or number two position in markets, representing 85% of their global sales. In India alone, Colgate controls 51% of the toothpaste market. That's not a brand, that's infrastructure. And then there's Procter & Gamble through their Oral-B brand. Their oral care division generates $7.8 billion in annual revenue. Oral-B alone commands 51% of electric toothbrush users. In the U.S. power toothbrush market, 47 million people use Oral-B. The next closest competitor has 34 million. Together, Colgate and P&G, alongside Unilever, control approximately 70% of the entire global oral care market. The rest? Scraps, divided among hundreds of smaller brands that can barely get shelf space. Think about your bathroom cabinet right now. There's a very good chance that every oral care product you own traces back to one of these two companies. But here's the part of this story that nobody talks about. You've heard it your whole life. Replace your toothbrush every 3 months. Your dentist says it. The packaging says it. It's on the box, the label, the insert. Where did that number come from? Not peer-reviewed science. There's no clinical study establishing that 3 months is the optimal replacement interval. The American Dental Association says to replace your brush when bristles fray, which, depending on how aggressively you brush, could be 2 months or 6 months. The 3-month rule exists because it sells more toothbrushes. Think about the math. If every American follows the 3-month rule, That's 4 toothbrushes per person per year. Multiply that by 330 million people. That's over 1 billion toothbrushes annually in the US alone. At an average retail price of $3 to $5 each, that's billions of dollars per year, driven almost entirely by a replacement schedule that the industry itself created and promoted. This playbook isn't unique to toothbrushes. It's the same strategy Gillette used with razor blades. The same strategy printer companies use with ink cartridges. Sell the product cheap. Make the consumable mandatory. Embed the replacement cycle into culture so deeply that nobody questions it. And it worked perfectly. Then came the electric toothbrush, and the industry leveled up. The first electric toothbrush hit the US market in 1960. For decades, it was a niche product, mostly for people with limited mobility or those who wanted a luxury bathroom item. And then Oral-B figured something out. If you sell someone an electric toothbrush for $200, you've locked them into your ecosystem, because the replacement brush heads, the actual consumable, only fit your brand. You've turned a one-time purchase into a subscription without calling it a subscription. Today, the electric toothbrush market alone is worth $9 billion and growing at nearly 7% per year. Oral-B dominates with over 26% market share. Philips Sonicare follows with nearly 20%. And replacement brush heads? They retail for $5 to $15 each. The recommendation is to replace them every 3 months. Same arbitrary cycle as manual brushes. For a premium electric toothbrush, set with 4 replacement heads per year, you're spending $60 to $100 annually just on consumables. The toothbrush went from a $3 manual product to a $200 device with a $100 per year maintenance cost, and consumers lined up for the upgrade because dentists endorsed it. And when your dentist tells you to buy something, you buy it. Here's the part the industry doesn't put on the packaging. Over 4.7 billion plastic toothbrushes are thrown away every year worldwide. They're made almost entirely from non-recyclable plastic. The handles, the bristles, the packaging, and because the bristles are nylon fused into a plastic head, the whole thing is nearly impossible to recycle. Most of them end up in landfills or oceans, and they don't break down. A toothbrush made in 1938, if it ended up in a landfill, is still there today, in essentially the same condition. The industry has started responding. Colgate launched a biodegradable line. Bamboo brushes have become a niche market. But the core product, the thing 8 billion people use twice a day, is still a piece of plastic that will outlive everyone watching this. And yet, the 3-month replacement cycle continues. Endorsed, promoted, built into culture. The toothbrush is a masterclass in modern capitalism. Take a product that humans have used for 5,000 years, industrialize it, hand control to 2 companies, create an artificial replacement cycle, upgrade it into a $200 device with recurring revenue, get dentists to endorse every step of it, and do it so seamlessly, so quietly, that billions of people do it twice a day without ever asking why. Next time you reach for your toothbrush in the morning, the one you'll throw away in a few weeks, because that's what the box says. Remember, someone decided that for you, and they made billions doing it. That's what's behind the barcode. You drink it every day, you pay more for it than gasoline, and the company selling it to you gets the raw material for free. Next week, the bottled water industry. Subscribe so you don't miss it. See you then.